Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. Now today I'm going to be carrying on the theme of making smaller designs using some of our newer stamps in the new release, but also a couple of ones that I've had in my stash for a while. I do think the new stamps mix and match perfectly with stamps we already have. But if you haven't managed to get the new stamps yet, and I know sometimes it can take a while, they do tend to be a bit slow flying over the sea. Can't blame them, it's a long way. You can just take inspiration from these designs and maybe use some stamps you've already got. Now, today, I thought I'd create a tag. And I've got to be honest, this tag is to go on a gift for a friend this Christmas. And my gift is, look at these, absolutely beautiful look, new Lavinia books. And I'm not going to take the band off. I love the band. But look, they're lined, beautiful notebooks. And I have to say, absolutely stunning. And the decorations on the back as well. And I just thought I could make a tag to match. I don't even need to wrap this up, look. I think that would look stunning. So that's my idea anyway, so I just need to put that somewhere safe. There's different types, just look up the notebooks online. There's different covers. Obviously I went for the hair because then I'm thinking that's why I'm going to use Pipin, just so it sort of matches. Now we may have a bit of shadow today. I've got to be honest, here in Cheshire, it's raining, it's very dark, it's very grey. So from the beginning, I'll just apologise if there's a bit of shadow. Like I say, all I can do is apologise. Now, I'm going to be using one of the smaller tags, look. So these are the small Lavinia watercolour tags. And you get 5 in a pack. But just to show you, we'll create the tag today. Look, I was decorate the back as well, ready to write to and from. And these are our beautiful Lavinia craft yarns. Colours match beautifully. But for those of you that want to make a card, I've created a card as well. Just because I thought, I don't want you to think, oh, Jo, I'm not a tag maker, I don't need tags. Well, look at this. You can use the design on a card. Now, this is a 6x6 card. And all I've done is the same design on the piece of card. But then what I did was I stamped the tree roughly. I say roughly, I held my card, put the tree, and then with the bippity boppity glue, because you've got a bit of wiggle time, it was easy to then put my topper so it matched up perfectly with the tree. Obviously, as always, stamped my tree on my envelope. And then finally, just to show you, look, I've done the same design on an offcut. Now this one is 4 inches by 3 inches. And it just shows how much of the design you can get. Remember, you don't need the whole of the tree on the design. So, remember that with the stamps, you don't need to stamp the whole design. And I think that would make a beautiful topper or direct on a smaller card. So I am aware so many of you have been in touch and said, Jo, we don't make large cards, postage is too expensive. So here's a lovely design for a smaller card. And again, if you didn't want to include Pipin, you could just have the tree. You could have the tree in the centre if you wanted. You could maybe stamp some words down the side. Like I say, all ideas that you can just take these and run with. So I'm going to pop these somewhere safe. Well, they're sort of mounting up at the side. So we'll start with our tag. And as I say, these are the small ones. And we're going to stamp in our VersaFine Clair the brown. And it's the pine cone I'm going to use. And we'll stamp lovely Pipin first. If I stamp the tree, I just may not have enough room for Pipin. So for me, it's better that I stamp Pipin first. That's just the way my head works. And Pipin's going to go in this bottom corner here. Beautiful. And so it's the smaller of the trees, the Christmas joy. And again, I'm being mindful not to put my block on my work, just in case. If there's a bit of ink on there and you get in the habit of doing that, only needs to happen once. And you certainly won't do it again. Well, I didn't after it happened. So again, I'm using the same brown ink. And I ink the whole stamp up. It takes me too long to work out which bit I don't need to stamp, so it's easy for me just to stamp the whole thing up. Now I want it straight. There we go. And these are watercolour tags, made with our beautiful watercolour card. Very smooth though. It's none of that bubbly, you know, textured watercolour card. These are beautiful and smooth. Look at that. The detail in that stamp is amazing. And as I say, even though the rest of the trees are there, you still get the idea, don't you? And I'm going to come up with one of our little mini stamps, and this is the Northern Star. And I know you're going to tell me you don't get brown stars, but we will add something to get rid of that. We'll change its colour, don't worry. But I just want it all to almost have a vintage feel. So I'm going to stamp it in the same brown and just stamp it. My head may come in shot just because I want to just look directly over the top so I can place it beautifully on top of the tree. Now the next stamp I'm going to use is this lovely icicles. Now if you've never met the icicles, it's such a fabulous stamp. And I'm just going to have it hanging down. You could have foliage, and I've got to be honest, my gut feeling was foliage. And I sort of had a word with myself and I thought, do you know what, you've not used that icicles for ages, so it's a good way. I have a box with all my Christmas stamps in, and it's a good way of actually getting ones out that sometimes we forget about certain stamps, don't we? And I think it's a good way of getting out those stamps that you possibly haven't used for a while. And again, I'm altering the height, look. And then we'll just have, so I think if we go maybe there, and let's see if we can just get, it would be nice to have a long one down this edge just to finish off, almost frame round. So I like that. So just going to give that a blot, she says, if she can find a clean piece of copy paper. Don't know about you, but I keep my copy paper, use it again and again. Versifying clays, your slower drying ink, so obviously I just want to give that a bit of a blot. And we'll add a bit of our surrounding now. So I'm going to come in with my mini hill masks and my Sahara, my elements. And I've got one of the middle brushes, the number 7, just because I just want to add a little bit of shade under Pipin and then a little bit under the tree. And then almost to make it look like snow, we'll have, I don't want to put it there, look, I don't want to sort of garrote him. So maybe just over the top of Pipin, we'll just add a little bit here. And again, I'm flicking upwards. So we've got this bit of snow. And then I'm thinking we'll have another one here. Again, I'm not inking up again. I've got ink on my, if I turn that round, look. So that gives us a sort of snowy landscape. But it's important to think where you put them. As I say, we don't want to have one running right through the middle of Pipin's neck. I'll just give that a wipe. And then when it comes to the moon, we could pop the moon here, but I'm thinking let's almost highlight, let's spotlight that lovely star. And that'll go with that shape there, look. So again, I'm turning it upside down just so I can start at the base. And then come all the way around. And don't worry, I'm going over the icicles, it's fine. I'm not going to do any masking. This is one of those designs that you can batch card make and it's relatively quick. So we're not going to mask, we don't need to. And what we're going to do now is come in with our Blue Atoll. And we're going to edge the tag. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm just going to almost flick, look. But I love this combination. And then I ink up on the corner. So my corners are darker. And then I'm just going to come up the side, look. And don't worry, I'm going over the icicles, that's fine. Turn it round. And again, at the top, sort of on these corners, want it darker. Oh, I love that blue, look. And then just a nice light amount. Just check we've got, can deepen, maybe just deepen those corners at the bottom a little. And then, now what I'm going to do is, if I put this here, let me check, can you still see it? So what I want to do is pick up with my water brush, look, I've got my beautiful number 1. These beautiful paint brushes, look. If I pick up this ink, then I can paint my icicles. This is lovely. I was very quiet then because it's so relaxing, but also I think I'm not wasting that ink. And then also, look, just so I've got a nice cohesive design, I'll use the same colour on the baubles. Now, I could use one of my gel pens, but I don't want to waste this ink on here. So like I say, if you were batch card making, you've got your colour palette right there. And this is so relaxing to do. If you wanted to bring in some other colours, you could bring in some other colours, but I just want it all, I don't want to introduce any more. But again, if batch card making, I'll make quite a few of these tags with this design, but the beauty of it is each one will be slightly different. I'll probably introduce more colours to one, maybe different colours to another. Right, I think it's so funny, these little dots on this tree. The number of times I say to myself, right, you've finished, and then I see one that I haven't done. So I'm sure you're shouting at the camera now saying you've missed one, that one. Right, I am going to stop there. And I'm just going to wipe this up. Just keep it nice and clean and tidy. And then want to add a little bit of colour to my star. So I'm going to come in with my number 50, and that's the yellow. And I'm just going to go over the star. Now remember, these are water-based, but instead of using my water brush, I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella so that it will sort of fuzzy the edge like your water brush will, but also it adds the sparkle. If you remember yesterday, we did this, using it for our, and look at that. But the one thing I need to remember is I'm going to have yellow at the end of my Wink of Stella brush, look. So I'll just wipe it on there. And the other thing I like to do with this, if I bring in my lovely Signo, my white, I'm just going to add a little bit of white snow at the base of Pipin and the base of the tree. And we'll just give him his little tail. Just give him a few little highlights. But also I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to almost fuzzy that snow. But then it gives it a bit of sparkle as well. So it's a two-way thing, look. So it's not as harsh. Now, again, give that a bit of a clean. And what looks nice is if I go over the top of the icicles. And you can even do, sorry if you hear a noise, Eric's just stretched out under my table. Obviously, he's my black Labrador. He's had a lovely walk this morning and he's snoring away. He's got physio later, so he'll have a sleep now. Right, again, we'll just get rid if there was any blue. Now, I'm thinking let's add one of those words. So, as you can see, look, I've got a little blue spot. Don't know where that came from. It does happen, you know. Oh, look, got blue hands. So, let's add a word from our lovely seasonal words. And I think joy will just fit perfectly and we can stamp it over that. The other thing I could do if I wanted, I could add some blue ink and put some blue splats on. But I'm thinking with the pine cone, let's see if we can stamp the word joy so that we don't see that blue mark, because you won't tell anybody it was there, will you? There we go. Right, let's do these little sneaky things. And then the last thing we need is a little bit of snow. So get my Posca, give it a shake, quick pump. Again, if you don't want to flick with your brush, your Posca, you can just pop your dots on. You can literally just dab them on. It's whatever suits you. I'm just going to add a little bit of snow this way. Just careful where I go round Pipin. A little bit over the word joy, couple over the star, and then over the icicles. And as always, we'll give this a quick clean. But I'm sure you could batch card make these tags or cards. But look at that. I think there's a lot on there, but we've still got space, look. We need that space for our eye to rest. So if I bring in my original tag, now you know this bit challenges me at the end. That's the tag we've made today. Can we get, there's our card, and there's our little, it's just going to cover the sentiment up, but there's our little 4x3. So I think we've got a lovely selection there from a very simple design. Like I say, if you haven't got those icicles, have a look. Very useful. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'd love to know what size cards you make, and if this is helpful. If you're one of the ladies that asked for this, I hope it's helpful to you. And I'll certainly keep it in mind and make some smaller designs. So you take care. As always, it's lovely spending time with you. So you pop back soon. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.